Hey everybody, welcome back to this week's Dark Avenger Comic Book Review. Mike's taking over first for Marvel.
Yes.
I got this book. Let me explain why Mike's doing this book. I bought this book. We are celebrating Spider-Man's 50-year anniversary. He's 50 years old. Happy birthday, Spidey. I just opened the book and skimmed it, and then I said, here you go, Mike. You review it. You read it, because I knew from the artwork alone the book was not going to satisfy me. And this is what Mike thinks of the book.
Where to start with Web of Spider-Man, issue number 129.1.
You'd think they would do a better job with all these tie-ins for Spider-Man's 50th.
Yeah. So he gives me the book. Because, you know, I'm a Spider-Man fan, right?
Oh, why not? Be fair about it. Don't spit on me, please.
I didn't spit on you.
Yes, you did.
Oh. And when I open the book, this is what you get as artwork. Number one. That was my first complaint. I
love how Spider-Man looks. He looks completely stupid. Misproportioned artwork galore.
Yeah, and that team is...
And it actually says... somebody misquoted. Somebody said that this book was written by Dan Slott. This book is not written by Dan Slott at all.
It's written by Stuart Moore.
Exactly. They probably misunderstood Scott for Slott. Yeah.
So, this book, first of all, talked about the Brooklyn Avengers. And, you know, and who they are.
Now, we're from Brooklyn, and we were...
Yeah, and I thought, you know, cute name. But, alright, you got into the origin of Spider-Man and all that. But all they kept doing was reminiscing about the villains they fought. Who cares?
And then there's this weird woman that looks like she wants to tickle Spider-Man's face.
Yeah, nobody cares. Like saying, oh, I remember this time when this happened, and I'm reading it, and I'm like, what? This doesn't interest me. I don't care about your backstories. Get to the point. What's the point of this issue?
Yeah, what is the point of that issue?
They're just talking about villains.
That's it?
So, hold on. So, when they go to some, what's it called? Like some bar or something down the street, the only interesting part in the end was someone really is killing the Brooklyn Avengers to be continued. Really? You could have just done that from the beginning and worked your way up, yet you had to do horrible artwork.
And they did, and I love how they did that, oh God! What are the No Sleep Till Brooklyn? Who's saying that
the
song?
Beastie Boys.
The Beastie Boys. No Sleep for Brooklyn Avengers. Oh ha ha.
Yeah. Okay. With the artwork being terrible, which I tried overlooking, the story was terrible. The whole thing in general was terrible.
Congratulations, Marvel, on completely screwing Spider-Man's 50th anniversary with all their tie-ins.
Basically, people, if you're gonna get this issue, don't bother. It is a total, complete man. And you know, for Web of Spider-Man,
yeah, I am
very shocked.
I was too, because I love the Web of Spider-Man.
I mean, you had 50 years of Spider-Man since I'm
and they
a number one Spider-Man fan.
They poo-pooed on Spectacular. They poo-pooed now on Web, and the Peter Parker one was pretty okay. The Peter Parker standalone one.
But it was like, I even talked about it on live. Both you, me, and Kat talked about it on live. It's just horrible. Just.
And the covers are so good, you'd expect the cover
worse than a time I read The Incredible Hulk. Just let's put it that way. Don't buy it. Total miss.
And I was wrong, guys. Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe issue 4 is the last part to the Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe. I don't care. I'm going to tell you something. A long time ago, I bought a miniseries called Deadpool The Wade Wilson Wars, and I loved it. Every single issue, from issue 1 to the final one, until the final one, actually, I should say. Because by the time we got to the final issue, the way they ended that book ruined the entire miniseries for me. And it seems history just loves repeating itself, because this book just flatlined in the last... First of all, the first issue flatlined on explaining how Deadpool went about, why he decided to kill all the the Marvel superheroes. That was the first folly, so the first issue stunk. Second and third issue were brilliant, especially with his tactics on how he killed certain people. This issue, we see him kill the Punisher. We see him kill Taskmaster. Spoiler there, Taskmaster doesn't do it. And then we see him finally kill... Oh no, I'm sorry, he doesn't kill Taskmaster. Man-Thing kills Taskmaster. And then in return, Deadpool kills Man-Thing. and then he jumps through a portal. I'm going to spoil it because it's stupid. Goes through time, and then flies out into our universe, where his writers and artists are in this big room where they're discussing the last issue of Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe, and Deadpool's like, I see you all out there watching. Don't worry. I'll be done with these jokers soon. End this universe before you know it. I'll find you soon too. What?
Wait. Yeah.
So, I'm supposed to see, the way this book ends is Deadpool's now in our universe. He's going to kill his writers and artists, and then he's going to come after us. That's how you end it? That's the big ending? That's really the big ending, Cullen Bunn? This seems like they didn't know. This is one of those instances again where it's like, we don't know how to end a Deadpool mini, so let's just throw some lunacy at the ending. The Wade Wilson Wars were destroyed because it was all like this big made-up story in Wade's mind. This one's even worse. He just jumps into our universe saying, I'm going to kill them, and then, I'm going to come after you next. Really? If anybody was debating about buying this miniseries, I don't know. I understand why issue 2 and 1 sold out, but I did not like the way this book ended at all. The entire miniseries, out of 5 stars, gets a 2.
Wow.
The reason I give it 2 stars is because issue 2 and 3 were really good, and they both deserve a star each. Issue 1 flatlined at explaining why and how this is all going on, and issue 4 just ruined the entire ending of the story for me. So, that's the end of that. We then go into Venom. Monster of Evil Part 1. I went into this book, especially after the Circle of 4, and I was ready to not like it. And
really?
I was ready, because, come on, the Circle of 4 was a horrible thing.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the book.
The Point 1 story that happened in Venom, remember, with X-23, the Red Hulk, and Ghost Rider?
Yeah, oh yeah, all those
yes.
people together.
So we get a big round out of what's been going on in Venom since issue 1 all the way up until issue 22, where he joins the Secret Avengers. He lost his legs. He met Spider-Man for the first time. He bullied Peter Parker as a kid. Joined the Secret Avengers. So basically, Venom is working on, I believe, from what I understand, a Secret Avengers mission where he's researching some occult stuff, and we all know what happened. He has the mark of Dormammu. And it turns out that, oh god, what's his name?
Hellstorm?
Hellstrom. I forgot his first name, though.
Just call him Hellstrom.
Yeah, Hellstrom. Is the one that's leading them all, and it turns out there's this huge fight between Venom and Hellstrom. Venom does not fare well at all in this entire fight. He gets his tuchus handed to him mostly. And then he finally gets on top, and then Hellstrom kind of says, we all have monsters inside of us, just like you. You have a monster inside of you also. And then next thing you know, you see the branding on Flash Thompson's chest, you see the crackling, the crickling, and the only reason why I'm showing this last page is because I showed it in the live cast, and we finally get to see a Venom incarnate. I don't mind that it's a monster, however, I do not like the creative addition of horns and wings. Hell, keep the horns, lose the wings. So, compared to what I thought, this wasn't as bad as I expected it. It was pretty okay. I just want to get away from all this Dormammu and occult stuff like that there. So I'm looking forward to this story arc still ending. However, the artwork is really good, and the writing style is still there. The character, he's not out of character. You know, when new writers come on, sometimes they write a character differently. He's still very well written, and everything's going fine. It's just I want to get away from Hellstrom. I want to get away from the deal with Dormammu. I want to get away from the Circle of 4, and that's exactly what this image means, the Circle of 4. So I want to get away from the whole Circle of 4 thing. So if you want to jump onto Venom with this, I would highly recommend before you do that, get the trade paperback of the first story arc in Venom first. The first story arc, and then if you're still questioning, get the story arc right before this one. And if you still don't like it, don't get it. But if you like it, then continue on. I would not recommend jumping in on this story arc. First of all, because it's connected to a story arc that already happened, which is the Circle of Four. If you didn't read Circle of Four, you're going to be a little bit confused on what's going on here. Like when Hellstrom says, you struck a deal with Dormammu, you're marked. You're not going to understand what the deal was because you didn't read the Circle of Four. So my advice is either read the story arc before this or start at the very beginning and work your way up to here. Venom is a very good a very good ongoing series though. Cullen Bunn did a lot better on this than he did with this. So I'd say give it a shot if you're interested. If you've been reading Venom, if you haven't read Circle of Four, I'd say I don't understand why I'm recommending it, but check Circle of Four first, so at least you know what's going on. Go to your library, your local library, and check it out because it was not worth buying. That's for sure. All those .1s and 2s and 3s and 4s for nothing. Astonishing X-Men 53, however, was really good. The artwork was really good. Wolverine is basically out of action in this book because he's pretty beat up after that explosion, and it's explained how it happened. Turns out there was some nanotech inside Wolverine's body, these little tapeworm looking things that were ignited and all blew up simultaneously inside Wolverine, and I'm not going to show his face because he's pretty beaten up. Then they finally get a lead on this woman. I forgot her name. Her name is Miss Hitachi, who's the girl in the red suit, the red dress that we saw in the last issue. And I love villains that do this. The X-Men show up, and they're like, and North Star's like, I'm sure you know why we're here. And she just throws the entire plot out. I put a bomb on Wolverine. I took over Karma's mind and made her take possession of your new husband and the X-Men. I also killed the Marauders, or rather their most recent incarnations. Clones are so convenient. What, you thought I'd deny it? So she doesn't even deny it. I hate this woman, and I hate her smug look. Turns out she used to be a telepath before M-Day hit, and she still has imagination. So they say to you, where's Karma? And she's like, if I did have her, what are you going to do, fight me? You're going to ruin your image. You can't do that. So, back at base, or where the X-Men are, their Beast, through the tapeworm, finds a way to trace where the tapeworm is, where the frequency of the tapeworm is. We have a moment with North Star and his husband. I'll skip over that. So the X-Men follow the signal to, I believe it's a warehouse. That's what it is. It's like a warehouse, or a base, a warehouse base. And spoiler here, so you can fast forward as long as you see this book in my hand. If you don't like spoilers up until this point, I would definitely recommend this book. So I'll see you guys in the next video, in the next comic, if you're skipping this. But anyway, they find Karma, and they take her, they rescue her. She's out cold. They sedate her just to be sure that in case she's not being mind controlled anymore, so she can't mind control them. They want to save the other people that are in the warehouse because they're being experimented on, and they're like, no, we can't leave. One person says, no, please take me, I gotta go. He steps over a line, big explosion, the X-Men are buried under a ton of rubble. To be continued. Yes, yes. Astonishing X-Men is still astonishing. I miss Wolverine though. I hope by the next issue Wolverine will come back in it. I would definitely say this was a 5 out of 5 book this week. It was really pleasing to read. One of my now favorite X-Men books next to Wolverine and the X-Men. I really like it. Can't wait to see the next issue. Mike, your book is next.
Yes, and that would be XMen Legacy issue number 272.
I just hold it there so you guys can see it. Okay, go ahead.
I would say this issue was half and half. Like, for one thing, mainly, well, first off, in the last issue, we found out that Rogue is now powerless, since she got in contact with one of the demons. So we go into the story where...
Is it permanent or just for a little while? Because you used to be touching it.
Hold on, just for a little while. So, like, they have this thing where the Char is talking about...
The artwork.
Yeah, the artwork's really good. I'll show some of it. Where they have to still fight about the war. Really, guys, it was more of talking and less action, really. I mean, I'm not saying it was bad. I'm saying, I mean, the artwork, I mean... You gotta admit the artwork's amazing, you know. But the point of the story is that she is not trusted, so she's sent to this place called what's it called, the Hive or something?
Just call it the Hive.
Yeah, the Hive. She meets with Tread, and then he talks to her about, the Hive Mind. Thank you.
Oh, okay.
So they talk about the hive mind and the origins and the whole entire hive family and whatnot. It was really just a lot of words and stuff, but just going over that, they head into the war at the end.
Ooh.
Where Trit says, let us stop this war if we can, but I fear we may already be too late. And you get this wonderful page in the end right here, spoiler, to be continued. And yeah, I can't wait to see how the war is going to turn out with or without
How are you looking forward to the new XMen Legacy that's coming out in December or November?
November. I'm really looking.
It's not gonna be Rogue. You know, it's gonna be Professor Xavier's son doing X-Men Legacy after this.
Oh, I didn't know that actually. But it all depends on the story. I'm giving it a chance, but I mean, it's lots of talky and less action. But you should read about it. 'Cause
I would definitely agree with you. You know what? You speak about talky. A lot of talky in Wolverine number 312. And it's all between Wolverine and Romulus's sister. I believe her name is Remus. I want to make sure I say her name right. Remus. And all of a sudden, Wolverine goes from trusting her and liking her to wanting to kill her because he believes it's all Rodimus's, not Rodimus. It's all Romulus's plan. Like, this is all a big game to Romulus. And there's a lot of dialogue, a lot of talking. Wolverine doesn't trust her. They crash. He's like, you have a healing factor, and she's like, yes, I've been around for many, many years. I know a lot. I know more than you. So it turns out that when Wolverine got his memories back, it turns out that there's a lot still missing in his memory.
Wow.
So apparently Romulus kept something out of Wolverine's mind. After all, there's still stuff that Wolverine doesn't know. Let me see. There's so much you don't know, so much he didn't want you to remember, so much you agreed to. And we don't know what she's talking about. Wolverine's like, what does he want with Sabretooth? And then there's more of an explanation to it. I don't want to give it away. You guys got to read this to understand it. But in the end, he ends up teaming up with Remus, and I believe Dagger tags along. They all have reasons to go after Romulus. And then Sabretooth comes out. We have a fight for about 3 pages against Sabretooth. He beats him rather easily. And then we have Romulus, who now has adamantium. Turns out Romulus was looking for adamantium so he could be like Wolverine, have the adamantium in his entire body. And then here's your big spoiler, guys. You will want to fast forward this if you're reading Wolverine. Here's the spoiler. Ready? 3, 2, 1. The lines, the Weapon X program was, is, and will always be your idea. So this book rewrites a lot of history because it says Romulus at least says here that Wolverine was the one that came up with the Weapon X idea to begin with, to be continued. So that's the big shocker. This entire book's biggest shocker was Wolverine was the one that invented Weapon X in the first place.
So you're saying it's compared to X-Men Legacy, where it's all talky, and then you finally...
You get somewhere at the end. You get a fight against Sabretooth for 3 or 4 pages, and then it goes into Romulus breaking out of his adamantium installation chamber thingy, and then Romulus drops the bomb that it's Wolverine's fault. Weapon X was even created because it was his idea and his creation.
Well, Rogue just wants to find her way home and out of that place that she's in.
So apparently Romulus changed certain memories in Wolverine's mind. He wasn't a lab rat. He was the one that started the whole Weapon X program. That would be an interesting story arc to see, like Wolverine reliving the past or going back in time and seeing how it really happened. That would be interesting to see how Wolverine actually came up with the idea of the Weapon X program.
But hasn't that been played in the X-Men comics a couple of times?
No, that's Wolverine escaping the Weapon X program, not anything like him leading it or being
not leading it, like something like that.
Secret Avengers 30, however, is quite the opposite of Wolverine and X-Men Legacy. It's all action. From the beginning, we have Venom versus Taskmaster, and it is Venom just pretending to be the out-of-control monster Venom.
The Venom you're talking about is...
Flash Thompson.
Okay, because I was saying before you were talking about how they had that...
Yeah, no. He's pretending to be the actual Venom, so they don't know it's really the new Venom, Flash Thompson. And the Secret Avengers are watching on. Venom's really losing the battle at first, and Valkyrie wants to help, but Hawkeye says we can't let them know that the Avengers are teaming with Venom. So Venom's basically on his own until Ant-Man actually steps in for a bit. And then Taskmaster runs off. There's a huge chase throughout most of the book, and the who is this? The Spirit of Pollution shows up, basically a bootleg of the Ghost Rider, and it's Hawkeye versus the Spirit of Pollution, so to speak. Taskmaster ends up delivering the crown to Max Fury at the end, and then here's your big spoiler here. Once again, if you want to fast forward, but it's kind of stupid. The reason the Abyss crown won't work for him is because he's a clone, a robot. He's not a real human. So somebody else, I won't spoil who, does end up putting on the Abyss crown. And let's just say things don't look good for Secret Avengers to be continued. Somebody ends up with the Abyss crown, and it wasn't Max Fury, because Max Fury's a clone, so he's not human, so he can't really be the wearer of the crown. It has to be a real living human being, so somebody's wearing it. I'm not going to say who until the next issue, so keep your eyes peeled. Secret Avengers is an okay book, just okay, but I'm guessing since Avengers Academy is ending, there's a pretty big possibility Secret Avengers might be ending too, because we're going to have a lot of other things going on. Iron Man 623 wins cover of the week, in my opinion.
Awesome cover.
Next to Amazing Spider-Man. It's definitely my second favorite of the week. Story inside, however, is one of those stories, once again, is talky, leading into the next issue. Mandarin wants Tony Stark to make the drones so he can, the gods in his rings can be released into the drones. Pepper is chasing after Rhodey, and Pepper doesn't know Rhodey is this new Iron Man, so to speak. Tony Stark and Zeke have this secret plan to revolt against Mandarin. So there's actually a part where Zeke freezes the systems, and Tony Stark's in the lunchroom, and he's telling everybody, Mandarin's going to destroy everything you love, and I know you hate me, but unless you want the world to end, we need your help. And then he sits down before the time's off, and they all come in, and they don't know what happened. Pepper starts snooping around the rescue armor, and things don't go well for her and her husband or boyfriend or whatever he is. I don't even know who he is. I don't care.
I thought Pepper and Iron Man got together.
And then the beautiful armor you see in the cover that you believe Tony Stark's going to pilot, you only see on the last page splash. And that's it. So this is the second issue in a row where it looks like Tony Stark's about to pilot his new Iron Man armor, and we're let down because he's not going to pilot now until at least the next issue. And the next issue says the Armor Wars number 3.
Ooh, careful.
Ooh, that was a heavy one. So we don't have that much time, Mike, so let's try to...
The Punisher, finally. Issue number 4.
Issue number 14. We're going to do The Punisher and the last book in the third part because we have 4 minutes left. I'm not going to rush. So, guys, we'll see you in part 3. This is the second week in a row we're doing 3 parts. A lot of books, a lot of talking. I love when I have a lot to say about comic books. So we'll see you in a pleasureful part 3 where Mike will do Punisher and I'll do my book of the week and we'll be done. See you guys in part 3.